Welcome, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this presentation for the Plant Breeders' Right application tool, the electronic application form, the EAF tool. Thank you for your interest in this tool, and the purpose of the presentation today is to first present the tool, how it works, and also to give you some information in relation to the latest development of the tool and the future developments of the tool. I am here today with my colleague, Hand, who will give a live demonstration of the tool, but before that, I would like to give you some background information about the project itself. The project started a few years ago in order to create an online platform to facilitate the work of the applicant by transmitting their application data for plant breeders' rights to selected authorities all around the world participating in this project. One important aspect of the tool is to be online, of course, but also to be multilingual, meaning that you will have the possibility to access the system in different languages. The tool was made available online beginning of January this year, and we started with a limited number of crops and limited number of languages because first we wanted to make sure that everything was working properly and to make sure that for the technical part everything was working well. So that was the reason why we started with just 5 crops, as you can see on the screen: apple, lettuce, potato, rose, and soybean, in order also to select some major important crops from the different families of the plant kingdom. Also, we've started with a limited number of languages. First, UPOV languages, so English, French, German, Spanish, and we've recently added the functionality in Chinese. We'll present that in a moment. Beginning of this month, in July, we've released a new version of the tool, and you can see on your screen that now you have 16 countries participating in this tool, meaning that the forms, application forms for those 5 crops are available for those countries depending on the crops countries have elected to support. So for instance, you see the list of 16 countries for which today you can access and make an application. So Argentina, Australia, Chile, China, Colombia, France, Kenya, Netherlands, New Zealand, Norway, Republic of Moldova, Switzerland, Tunisia, Turkey, United States of America, and Uruguay. And when you look at the 5 crops, you see that, for instance, Australia supports the 5 crops, so that means that as an applicant, as a breeder, I can access the system and make an application for lettuce, rose, or potato in this country. We want also to briefly explain some new functionalities of the tool that were recently released. Chinese as a language for all the website navigation. That means that if you are, for instance, a breeder in China and you want to see all the website navigation in Chinese, you can select your language here and have all the display in Chinese. And also all the tools within questions are available in Chinese, which is quite interesting and quite relevant for breeders all over the world. We'll also have some questions that could be selected from a drop-down menu directly with some information stored in the database, for instance, in relation to the selection of the characteristic or states of expression. And this, my colleague Hand will present that more in details. And you can see on the screen that when you submit an application, you can generate a format in PDF, and you can see that it's automatically generated and translated in Chinese. We are also having some other languages such as Romanian, for instance, and here again when you submit your application, part of it is automatically translated in Romanian, and also in Turkish, for instance, also the form received by the authority will be as displayed right now on the screen. In relation to the fees, because this is a normal procedure for PVP application, and just to mention that the PVP application fee remained the same for all the PVP offices and crop. That means that what you pay today for the application fee for those countries remain the same. And for that, you have different options for the payment, either to go through the EAF system or payment to be made directly to the selected authority. On top of this application fee, there is an administration fee for us to run the system, and this has been agreed for the first 2 years in order to encourage the use of the system to be 150 Swiss francs per application. In some cases, for instance, Netherlands have decided to pay this additional fee directly by the authority in charge of the US examination, meaning that for the breeders, by doing an application in the Netherlands today, the fee remains the same. Now I would like to pass the floor to my colleague here, Hand, who will explain more in detail exactly how the system works by giving you an online demonstration of the tool as it is today. Thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. So I will try to show you how the system works from the breeder perspective. So maybe, no, I'm not. Okay. So this is how the dashboard is displayed at the first screen, the home page, when the breeder accesses the system and get all the information. So he will see all his applications. So we have different information about the international reference number, which is the identifier of the application. There are some other fields like date of submission, crop, variety denomination, variety reference, submitter's own reference, authority status, and the applicant payment status. And then all this information are sortable, and then you can also filter. For example, if you want here and then you want to see only your soybean application, you can see this information. Now let's start from the beginning. So when a breeder wants to transfer his application data to one authority, so he has to click on start a new application. So he can choose one of the 5 crops, one of the available authorities. So for example, let's say that we go for Kenya. There is also another field which is submitter's own reference. This is the breeder's reference, and then it is required only when in the authorities form this information is not required. So we need to have an identifier of the variety for the system in order to make sure that the application data can be reused. And then we'll explain this later on. So let's say that it's for demo webinar, for example. And then we have to also select the language of answers. It might be different from one country to another. For Kenya, for example, only English is available. For example, for Switzerland, the 4 languages, Italian, French, German, and English is available. So it depends on the country. So let's start. At this level, pseudo forms are generated automatically based on the information provided by the country. And then all the questions are organized per chapter. So we have one group of application form chapters. So we have applicants, breeders, denominations, other application, priority claim, novelty information. For technical questionnaire, we have all the information about breeding scheme, variety comparison, characteristic, variety comparison, plant material information, additional information, and then final set of questions are related to the declaration and signature and all different attachments. So let's start from the beginning. So from the applicant, so all the information is retrieved from the profile, user profile, so you can have everything is already there. For breeder, let's say that we will select one of the countries. I don't know if I would say Australia, and I will try to fill in only the information about, so this is demo. Other application, so we can select the country of origin and then variety name. So I will not claim any priority, and then for the novelty maybe I will select information in Australia, select one, and then terms of condition. At breeder's scheme level, so I can, for example, say that my variety is resulting from crossing, and then I will say that it's male and female. Okay. Okay, and then put some details there. All the information so about variety characteristics are there, so we can select one of the proposed values. For variety comparison, I can choose to compare to one variety. And then here what we have the list of all UPOV characteristics, and if I choose one, I will get the corresponding state of expression refilled automatically, so I can select one of them to make sure that we can compare the variety. So next chapter is about plant material information, so maybe I will just put some information, pick one, and just, okay. Okay. Final chapter is about additional information, so I can also put okay, all this information is there. So what I have to do now is to browse my signature. Maybe you can just take one number in the available pictures and then put some attachment if, for example, some attachment are required, like here, for example, the authorization for release, we can also take one from there. All this information is there. So now we can either save or directly submit the information. So you can see here that all the green check are there, so we can already submit. So you have to agree on the EAF disclaimer. Sometimes there is also a PVP office disclaimer, so we need to agree on. But for Kenya, for example, only the EAF disclaimer is required. So the data now is being submitted, and then the information is there. You will have at this moment to pay the EAF fees. Only the information, the fees of EAF are required. For some other countries, it might be so they required also to have the PVP office fees. So in this case, you have also to pay the PVP office fees directly, and then UPOV will redistribute these fees to the designated authority. So what we can do now is just to continue and then will not pay at this moment. So we just go there. What you can see is at this level. So if you go to my email, because my account is linked to this to my email address, so you can see here that my application has been sent to KEFES, so it's for Kenya, and then I was in copy because I'm the breeder, I'm the applicant, and then you will have all the information about the international reference number which was assigned to your application, your proposed denomination, your date of submission, and then you can have this, go to this link in order to download in a secure way the application data. So only you as a breeder and the PVP office are allowed to download this information. So I can go there at this level, and then I'm already logged in as hand, as you see here, so I'm authorized to see this information. So I can already save file and then get the information here. What you can see the application data, which is already in the correct format in PDF, with all the information I already inserted regarding your breeding scheme, your variety comparison, variety characteristic, and so on. And then the other thing is regarding the XML itself. So the information is stored in the XML format so that it can be used by other systems if needed. Okay, so good. Let's move to the next step. So now I submitted my application to Kenya. So if I can see, for example, at this level, so maybe I will just filter by demo so that I can see my application. The application is submitted. I still need the applicant payment because I didn't pay. So I can pay afterwards. That's why I have this this link to the payment functionality. And all the information is there. So what should we do now? I want, for example, to apply for another authority, but for the same variety. So how to do? I will go to copy application, and then I will say that for soybean, and then I want to apply for chili. The application form, the language of answer is Spanish. Only Spanish is available. So I'm more comfortable with the English, so I will go for that for the time being. And then I will search for my recommendation. So what could the system offer to me on that? I can look for my information. So there are two information for copying: the combined one and the Kenyan one. The combined is very interesting when we have more than one submitted application, because it accumulates all answers to common and country-specific questions you provide for a specific variety. And so let's say that we go for the combined, but it's the same for the time being. So now what they say that we are about to copy the application for the same crop and the same and a different authority. So we are obliged to use the same submitter's own reference or breeder's reference in order to identify the variety. So we have to agree on that, and then the information will be copied directly, as you can see. So what we have here, we have the information about my name, my address, and so on. So I can go forwards. For the representative, we don't have a representative. For the breeder, you remember that I said that the country of origin was Australia, so it was copied. For this question is a new one, I haven't answered yet. So we don't know if the original bidder is an applicant or not. The correspondent address, it was not in the Kenyan form, so we need to enter the information. So let's say it's the name, address, phone, and email. Okay, denomination. So you see that the proposed denomination has been copied, and then you have already the breeder's reference, which is demo webinar, which is already there. Other application, what we had the country, the variety denomination, which is copied, but this information was not in the Kenyan form, so we need to enter this information. So it's pending, and priority claim, it was not claimed, is not there. So you see here that we have the information about the novelty, which is taken over, and all the information about technical examination, which is the correct one, is just to put the information there. Okay. Now the good thing is, so all the information about the technical questionnaire, you might see, so it's copied. So I don't have all the information is there. Even for variety comparison, plant material information is already there. And then the information about additional information is copied also. For the signature, so in Kenyan form, that was not required to have the full name, but in Chilean form, it's okay. So I need to put my name. And then finally the attachment, maybe I need just, for example, it captured the authorization for release because it was in the Kenyan one, but for the other are not mandatory, so I will keep it as it is. So this information is already there. So what you can do is, for example, save it. Yes. Okay. And then if you remember, here we have the information, how we can just show it. You have selected Spanish as language for answers. So all the free text information should be in Spanish. So in this case, I might need to have a look on it and then see in Espanol how the information is displayed. Yes. So and then now all the question will be reloaded in Spanish. As you might see, the most important thing that I want to show is for all this characteristic and state of expression is already captured, so we don't have to fill in any of this information. It's all about all the enumeration list, drop-down values, everything, and all these also are already translated. If you see UPOV 1, we have the information here already translated. So now what we need to do is for all the free text information, we need to put this in Spanish and then submit the application. So maybe I will choose to submit just right now, just to make sure that you have the disclaimer in Spanish, and then all the information is submitted. Okay. I will not, as you might see, so my email. So I will go back to this one and then go to this, not this one, sorry. Yes, that. Okay, so this is what I have submitted just right now for soybean in Chile for this information. So I can add what I did before, go there, upload, download my application data. Okay. Now, and then here, what it is interesting to show is that all the information now is in Spanish. All the drop-down list data is already translated. If you see here, Switzerland, and for the technical questionnaire information, all the information is in Spanish. Okay, so that's all from this part. What we can do now, I don't know if you want to have other features that you want to be demonstrated, so we can show you. There is a poll just right now, so if you can reply to the questions, there are some different options. So what we can show you if you want to.
Okay, thank you very much, Hen, for this very interesting demonstration, and we thought that it will be the most important for you to see exactly the system working. And just allow me to summarize some of those key benefits of the system, because you see now, you've seen the system working that on both sides for PVP applicants and also for PVP offices. The system is very interesting. First, for the authorities that have no inline online system right now, just by providing their application forms to the Office of the Union, they can participate in this tool and have their application online. We also have in the system different way to send the information that could be sent via email notification, as Hand explained, and then the authorities will go to a secure domain to download the application data, because all the data shared is encrypted and only accessible and available for the applicant and the selected authorities. That could be sent as well as a hard copy of the application. This was what was presented under this PDF format in different languages, because indeed in some countries you have to submit in a specific language. And also there is a possibility for those applicants and officers that want to investigate that to have a system-to-system communication, meaning that the application data, if it follows a certain format and model, can be directly taken from the breeders database and sent directly to the authorities server and database. So that's really helped to have those three different way of doing, and for the authorities is very interesting. Also for the authority, that brings to a more harmonized way of receiving the information, because by the fact that you can use and reuse the information, it's very interesting to note that the information provided will be in an harmonized format. Also, the feature of the different languages. This is very important and very interesting for both sides, and especially for the applicant, because then you see that you can access to a different range of languages, and we are working on incorporating more languages in the future, but already with this range of languages that provide some very interesting benefits for the system. The fact also that the data can be used and reused. We've seen this part on the application form, some quite general information. about the breeder, the applicant, name, address, and so on. So all these parts can be reused, as well as some element in the technical questionnaire that could be subsequently reused in other application, updated and changed. But that means that this reusability will considerably save time for the breeders and also guarantee that the information is copied in a good way. The system will allow for both sides, PVP officers and breeders, to also design and assign user roles depending on the size of your company, depending on the size of your office. You can have just one PVP admin working, or breeders admin, or after, if you have a bigger team in charge of IP, for instance, in your company, you can assign different roles. If you want the breeders to have access directly to the system to complete the technical questionnaire part, you can. If you want the person in charge of the financial part to have access to the system, it's also possible. And it's very interesting because that's allow both sides to have an overview on all the application part. As mentioned, the system is fully secure. All the information is encrypted. All the information remain confidential, and you have a control access to your information and your dashboard. That's allow as well applicant to have access to the most accurate and the most recent application forms in all the countries participating in the tool, and this is very interesting and very useful. And just to end with, also allowing breeders applicant to track their application, because the system will send the application to the selected authority, will send the data, and after the procedure will remain the same between the breeders and the PVP officers, starting the DUS examination and the administrative examination for the application. So this was the presentation of the tool as it is today. We are working on the next version of the tool, and we can already mention that beginning of next year, in January 2018, we'll have a better coverage and a better combination of crop and countries, because indeed, to make the system interesting and appealing, you need to have a quite important range of crop and species covered and available for application, as well as an important number of countries or members part of the project. And we can already mention that the release of version 2 of the system for next year, January, will be very interesting in terms of coverage for authorities and crops. We'll also have some other languages that will be covered by the system, and some new functionality will also be added to the system, such as payment option that will allow some bulk upload functionality, and also the link to some other information that we have in different UPOV database, such as information in relation to botanical common names and so on, information available in the Genie database. So before we look at the different questions we have received and we are currently receiving through the webinar, we just wanted to invite you also to test the system, because it's very easy. You just need to create an account and you can have access to all this information. And of course, we remain at your disposal to answer all of your questions. And also to mention that we'll organize some more webinars as this one. We can also organize that in different languages that will be maybe more suitable for you, and also at different time in order to fit also better timing for you to invite some of your staff or some of your people to participate in this webinar. We can also organize some online training session just with your PVP office, and some online training session with your company, and we'll be more than happy to do that. But before that, we'll just look at the different questions we have received, and we'll answer to that. So please feel free, if you have some more questions, you can just type on the questions part, and we'll address all those different questions. I already can see on the screen that we have a question in relation to the introduction of crops on authorities. So this is one of the points I've just mentioned. So the new release have been done this month in July, and the next one will be done in January next year. We aim to cover a maximum number of crops by beginning of next year. We'll start first with all the crops that are covered by a UPOV test guidelines, and we already have more than 300 test guidelines that cover more than 90% of the application worldwide. So already if we cover those crops, that will be a good starting point. We'll also in parallel are working with different ways to introduce more crops according to the specificity and the need to customize some questionnaire if not follow exactly the UPOV test guidelines. And this will also be done in parallel according to resources available. In relation to the countries to be added to this tool. So we are also working with some countries that were part of the project since the start of the project a few years ago that are interested to join the project and the tool as soon as possible, and they will be part of the next release next year. If in your country if you are interested to join the tool, the good approach will be to get in contact with us, with the Office of the Union. You can send your application form, and then we can also have a look and assess the work needed in order to incorporate all your information in the system. And after, we'll also see if you need to add some other languages, and we'll work on subsequent releases after January 2018 on the possible addition of new countries in the future. But of course, we'll add more countries if they are willing to, because it's a request from the country to be part of the system to do that. And I can maybe link this with another question I see on the relation with this tool, the UPOV tool, with the CPVO online tool. So the CPVO tool is the tool for application to be sent in Europe, and this tool will be completely complementary to the CPVO tool. We are working with the CPVO on incorporating the information and the connection between the two tools. But of course, if breeders want to make an application in Europe using the CPVO tool, they will still be free and available to do that. The interest of the UPOV tool is to be complementary to that and to be able to make also application in other countries in Europe or outside Europe, and maybe with the possibility to reuse information that will have been provided in this first tool. And
sorry, just to complement your answer. For CPVO, we are targeting a full integration between our systems. It means that we can import data from CPVO to EAF system, and we can export data from EAF to CPVO system. So that when you apply for CPVO in CPVO system, it is possible to import your data in the EAF system, and then the other way around, when you apply to from the EAF system, you can always export your data into the CPVO system. So that, yes, the two systems will be complementary.
I see that we have another question on the reusability of the data, and here I think Hand will be also willing to explain a bit more about the reusability of the existing data according to a specific format developed.
Yeah, so the aim of the system is to also to transfer data from the EAF to other systems, and we can also import data from existing system to the EAF, and this is can be done. This can be done thanks to the XML format. So machine-to-machine communication can be done thanks to the XML format. So if you have data and you can provide the data in the PVP XML format, so this is the standard UPOV standard XML schema. So if you can provide your information in this XML format, so it is possible to import it into our system and then to reuse it as much as possible using the copy functionality if you want to.
Thank you. We've just received another question on what other languages exist in the system. So we've presented that the system as it is today, the tool is available in French, English, Spanish, German, and Chinese, and we are currently working on the addition and incorporation of new languages. The interesting thing is also to note that non-Roman alphabet is available in the system. That's quite interesting, and we also encourage your country or any other member that are willing to add that to get in contact with us to look at the opportunities to add more languages. But again, this is a very important functionalities, and for sure that we'll continue the work of this part. I see that there is a question also on whether this tool means that a local agent is not anymore useful or needed. Just maybe to mention that this tool is not changing anything in relation to the legislation in place for each authority and each country. That means that if the authority or the country requests to send the application and the answer in a specific language, or if you need to have a local representative or agent, this is not changing anything, and you'll have to follow the same procedure. The purpose of this tool is really to facilitate the work and to facilitate the exchange of information and application data from the applicant to the authority. I see that we have received another question on the models of signature for the final application, and maybe Han can reply to this one.
Yeah, so for we have mainly three different cases. The first one is the authority does not need any required information about that. They trust the authorization made by the system. So it means when the applicant log in using the WIPO account, he is authorized to do such information. Maybe I need also to point out that actually the breeder admin role is only assigned to authorized person. So they send to UPOV a formal letter where we know exactly that those persons are formally authorized to do the application. So that this is one model of this authorization for the signature. The other model is they requested to upload the signature in an image format, like what we did, for example, for Kenya or for Chile. And this is the most common model. The third model is what we are now working on with the CPVU. So we need to make sure that the person is authorized to do their application to CPVU. So we have to call CPVU through machine-to-machine communication to ask them if this person is formally authorized to do their application to CPVU. And then we get the answer yes or not. And each time the breeder submits his application, the information is so the call or the request is done to CPVU to make sure that the person is authorized. So those are the three models we have currently for the EAF signature.
Thank you, Han, for this clarification. I don't see any other questions.
Maybe you can see the results of the poll, if there is a...
Okay, so thank you for your answers live. So here, about the other features that you would like to have clarification on is the multilingual feature, the PVP Office interface, and maybe Han can explain that in more details, and the different user roles.
Okay, so maybe let's start with the most. So 71% was to PVP Office interface. So we can start with this one. I have already logged into the system so that information is typed. Okay, so I'm going to, okay. So this is, I logged using the PVP and PVP Office profile. So this was linked to Turkey, if you want to. So what you will see in the dashboard, the list of your submitted applications. So it means that all the information in there for the different crop. You can always sort by crop if you want to. And then you will have the information about the applicant payment status if you want to, and then all the information about your application. It means at this level you can download the information in XML if you want to. So this is one option, and the other option is the view functionality. So it means that you can also download the application data in PDF. So in principle, so the information on the dashboard will collect all your application data received so far. Okay, so this is one information. Okay, let me just go and then I'll go to English later. So all your information data you can have it at this level. The other functionality you can have is user role management. It means that at this level you can assign role to different PVP officer. So if you, I will just try with one admin role. Should be business. No, I'm not sure if I can have it. Anyway, so let's see. Okay, so for example, if I want to assign to myself the role of PVP officer, I can do it at this level and then get the information. The other functionality, if I go to the dashboard again, so you can always edit your PVP office profile. So this information is mainly regarding the time zone. The accepted languages is, for example, you want to add other accepted languages other than Turkish for this example. If you want to change your preferred way to receive application data from email to system communication, for example, if you want also, for example, to receive your XML and the PDF. So, for example, here you can go to both, and always you have to agree on the terms of condition regarding the PVP office information. Okay, so maybe we can go to the next next one because we still have some time. Okay, so the next one will be 57%. So the different user role, drafter, signatory, etc. So maybe I will go back to the breeder role, and then you have, as for the PVP office, you have the user role management interface. And you, for example, I'm the user, I'm the breeder admin of all this UPOV team for this one, and then I can have the different roles if you want to see where I can do it. So maybe I just want to. So you can always update the role. For example, for this person, I can assign, for example, the drafter role, the authorized signatory roles. I can make the user inactive if he is no longer in the team, for example. These different roles has different authorization. So for the drafter level, so if you are a drafter, you are not allowed to submit the application. You can only draft the application. The other one, authorized signatory, is the one who has the right to submit the application but not draft the information. So maybe if I can, for example, go back at this level and try to log in using the drafter role. And maybe authorized signatory. It's, sorry, private. Legal signatory. So and then you can see for this one, so only the authorized one could be there, could sign the application. It takes some time because it's a test environment.
Maybe in the meantime, Hen can also show the information available on the UPOV website, because when you access the UPOV website, you have access to all the information in relation to this tool, including some guidance notes, breeders and PVP office guides, where you have all the different steps explained, and that could be also quite interesting and quite relevant for you to have a look at. It is and it will be available in more languages, so please feel free to have access and ask any question to the office. And
okay.
Now maybe
yeah. So now this is the signatory dashboard. So as you might see here, so the signatory will have only the possibility to sign an application. So when you click on this application data, you will see that all the information is in the read only. So he cannot edit anything regarding this application data. He can only go to the declaration and signature chapter and then fill in the required information. So the name is here, and then all the information regarding the signature chapter. And then he has the possibility to submit his application data. So this is the breeder signatory. The drafter is the other way around. He has the right to edit all these chapters, and then he's not authorized to edit declaration and signature chapter. This is a way to manage the different roles in a team, in a breeder company, if you are different persons working for the same application. Okay, maybe I can show the website, and by the at the same time I will answer the other question regarding this. So if you go to the UPOV website, UPOV.8, so you have the possibility to have some information about the PBR application tool, the EAF. And in this website, you will have an up-to-date list of the supported authorities and crops by authority. The website is available in the 4 UPOV languages plus Chinese, because Chinese is covered also by the UPOV PBR application tool. So if I click on this link, so you'll have all the information in Chinese. Let's go to English. So now I will get the opportunity to reply to the other questions, which is regarding how to access the EAF. So in order to access the EAF, you have to create a WIPO user account. So to create the WIPO user account, you have to click in on this link. So this link is available on the website, so you can directly go there and then fill in all this information regarding username, first name, last name, your email, and password, and then create your account. After that, so we need to request user authorization, because WIPO account is only used for authentication. So if you have already a WIPO account, you can use it directly. If you don't have it, so you have to create it. So you request your user authorization. So either from your breeder admin or from the PVP office admin. Otherwise, if you want to have the top level, the highest level role like breeder admin or PVP office admin, this is done through another process where you have to provide UPOV a formal letter for this authorization. Otherwise, you can always contact your breeder admin or PVP office admin depending on requested role. Once it's done, you will receive an email confirmation saying that you now have this specific role. And after that, you can access the EAF, log in using your username, a WIPO user account, and your password, and then you can access the EAF.
Just to mention also that you've got the information on the terms of use of the tool, and the 2 user guides I was referring to are available here, so in different languages, and you can access to that, and some information, more technical information, is also available on this website. Thank you, and I think we are getting to an end. I don't see any more questions. So I would like to really thank you for your attention and your interest in this tool. We are more than happy to provide more information if needed and if requested. So please get in contact with us, and we will be happy to organize any other training session to allow you to use the system. But again, the best way is to do and to access the system, learning by doing, and you will see that it's a very user-friendly system, and that will really ease your life on both sides. So please have a look at that, and again, we'll be more than happy to answer and to help you and to guide you through this very interesting UPOV's PBR application tool. Before we end, I just would like to thank the techniques here who have allowed us to make this webinar possible, and also to thank all of you for your application and your interest in that. We wish you all the best, and we hope to get soon in contact with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.